Hello and welcome everybody to yet another Division 1 and 2 playoff game for the Joint of the League season number 5. It is the upper bracket semi-final for FC going up against Flipside Tactics. So it should be a great game, a best of 3 as in the playoffs they mostly are. So we'll see who can advance to the final and be just one step closer to advancing to Division 1 for the next season. Because Division 1 is pretty much where all the important things will happen if you want to really make a name for yourself, make a living from playing. But we're HeflaTV, I'm Couchor, and I'm going to be joined by Mikelorus. Do you have any expectations for this upcoming game?
Yes, I do, but first I have to correct you real fast. Actually, the winner just is Division 1.
Oh,
So,
really?
yeah, this is it. They don't have they don't have one more bracket segment or whatever to go through. They're gonna play it, and winner's gonna take it.
So,
Loser
so
does
three
not,
teams get to Division 1 then?
yes, I think.
Oh, yeah, right. Now that I
Yeah,
look at the actual brackets, there's no final spot. I believe for the Asian bracket there was a final spot as well. Maybe it was a mistake by
I
generating
don't
the
know.
bracket, but
Well, yeah, loser not necessarily out. I think they have a date with Power Rangers later, so that should be fun for the loser. But as far as expectations go, flip side, the more I watch them, the more they're becoming one of my favorite teams to watch. Last set, every single game that they played had Spirit Breaker, so hopefully we're going to be seeing that again. They also ran a pretty weird combo of early picking up a Marana and Leshrac and a Sven. Or I guess Sven was last, but they have no hesitation on running weird strategies like that. And in a world dominated by Shadow Fiends, Axes, and Trolls, it's a nice change of pace.
it definitely is. And it's also the fact that if you can come up with something surprising like that, the enemy may just have no idea how to even counter it, how it's best to lane against such heroes or such compositions. So we'll see if they run something similar this time around as well. For FC though, they do have the first pick. If they want to start standard, Vengeful Spirit is in the pool, as is the Batrider if they want to go for that one instead. If not, I suppose even an Axe first pick wouldn't be too horrible, although I have to say Axe isn't as popular, at least from the games I've been casting.
Yeah, more teams are more harshly counterpicking the axe and making sure that they don't just uh, put him in the off lane and then he has a free roll. You just put him up against three heroes. Axe has to go to the jungle, and well, you apply any pressure to the jungle, Axe is gonna have a really bad time. This is also probably an equally safe, if not safer, opening to the Vengeful Spirit. Io lets you do some crazy freaking things. It's a hero that we pretty oftenly see banned out instead of that Earthshaker in that first ban phase, but it really depends on the type of team that favors the IO. Some teams like it, some teams won't touch it.
I think for FC they used to run quite a bit of IO, but I have to say it's been a really long time since I myself have even seen 4FC in action properly. But usually when you pick up the IO, you may want to pick up that partner straight out as well, just to make sure it does not get banned out. Usually IO Tiny is definitely the strongest, but if you go for it early on, I don't know, it may or may not work out as flip side now. Going for a Queen of Pain and a Spirit Breaker. Spirit Breaker, especially this early on, is it necessary? I mean, more than likely you could have picked it up later as well.
That's true, but also Flipside love their Spirit Breaker. Like they love this hero so much, grab it as early as they possibly can, and I love them for it. But really, if you do want a Spirit Breaker, most of the time you can get it a little bit later. It's going to come to a certain point where teams going up against Flipside will know that Spirit Breaker is either coming or, will be instantly picked. So they have to ban it out or take very early precautions. IO, not necessarily a great early precaution. Was a much better one when Tether used to stun, but nowadays, not as much.
And those were the days for IO players, just tether stun, OP. But Bristleback will be the pick for now. In some situations, some teams even run like an IO Bristleback mid lane, for example, or maybe a dual off lane with IO Bristleback, something like that. So they don't necessarily need to go for like a Tiny or Chaos Knight or something like that if they don't want to. But then again, their options are still open. Looking at the next set of bans though, 4FC banning out an IO, or a Batrider rather. Batrider is decent-ish against the IO, or just because the best way to deal with an IO combination is gank that combination rather than the three other heroes, just because suddenly they cannot relocate to help out or anything like that. So Batrider definitely would have been a nice ganker that way.
Yeah, it's gonna help secure this combination for 4FC, but I'm actually not too sure how much I like this Bristleback pick early on. It is a super strong combo versus the IO, not gonna deny that, no one's gonna be denying that. However, they're already up against a Spirit Breaker and a Queen of Pain, and there are IO combinations that are very frequently seen that have stuns. like Tiny or maybe CK, maybe eventually, but not today. But uh, IO Bristleback, they don't have those stuns. And as far as killing off Queen of Pain Spirit Breaker, yeah, you can give them the rundown. A tethered Bristleback has a lot of movement speed, but it's just a lot easier to stun them and then make sure that that's not a problem. Flip side, they're going to take out two junglers, very similar junglers, Enchantress, banned out from them as Lion also gets the kick out. As flip side grab an axe, looks like they're preparing for some aggressive strategies to say the least.
And aggressive is the Dota that I myself prefer to watch in all fairness, since last games I managed to cast were both 55 plus minutes, although they had a reasonable amount of action as well, just lots of farming going on, lots of late game heroes picked up. Flip side though, late game wise, I suppose at the moment it's not that bright for them. Queen of Pain can definitely transition into a right click carry of sorts. To be honest, even a Spirit Breaker with like a Mask of Madness, maybe a couple of extra items, can be quite annoying. Maybe not so much with the damage output, just kind of perma bashing.
Yeah, and up against someone like Bristleback IO, they need to be actively in those fights. If you have a support hero like Spirit Breaker taking out the Bristleback, then you're also essentially taking out the IO, and that's a 1 for 2. I mean, maybe it won't exactly pan out like that in the end, but that's how it's working out in those fights. And then Axe, Queen of Pain, monsters of AoE can also deliver some serious damage. 4FC, I mean, they smell this aggressive strategy coming. It's pretty freaking obvious. They're going to grab the third tanky-ish hero, maybe IO not as much, but Viper Bristleback are very, very difficult to kill. And Spirit Breaker, though he is very, very nice early on, as far as diving towers and making sure that the enemies don't really escape, he doesn't actually do that much damage unless you're very lucky with that 17%. So Viper, Bristleback, durable heroes versus the Breaker.
Yeah, the one thing is though that both teams don't they have kind of opposite strategies. 4FC, they're going for the sustain in the fights. I mean, Viper wants to just get the poison attack on as many targets as possible, just have the corrosive skin kick in, slowly do damage over time. Bristleback wants to start stacking up the quill spray, whereas flip side, they just want to blink in, Berserker Squall somebody, charge somebody maybe with the Spirit Breaker and have the Queen of Pain deliver the burst to just bring one hero down. Maybe multiple heroes depending on how many you can catch. If this does go to a like prolonged fight though, 4FC definitely should have the advantage for now.
And when you do grab these tanky heroes, the healing that IO gives becomes a lot more effective. You block that healing out with the Bristleback skill, as well as that corrosive skin. So every single point of health that you get is protected a little bit more, and Flipside are going to struggle to do that damage. They do have their offlane axe, have a support Spirit Breaker, seemingly mid lane Queen of Pain right now. Still looking for a unicorn hero, still looking for a secondary support hero, and that support hero needs to be doing some damage. Luckily for Flipside, they don't actually have to prioritize CC all that much, as Viper Bristleback, I mean, it's nice to stun them up, but it's not exactly like they're going up against a Storm Spirit. Not yet.
Maybe like the best thing about stunning a Bristleback is that it's easier for you to just find his front side, so he won't have that damage mitigation, but other than that, yeah, don't really care that much about it like you mentioned. As for Flipside, they didn't need it, but some lockdown will still come out from them. It's gonna be a Lina, and I would think it's gonna be a secondary support, but every now and then it is played differently as well.
Yeah, mid lane can be handled by either this Lina or Queen of Pain. With the read of the mid lane is going to be either IO Bristleback or the Viper. The Queen of Pain is, well, first of all, just most of the time you have a better lane than the Lina. Typically a little bit stronger in that lane control scenario, as a projectile is just so much more efficient. But Lina can also go there very easily, but I think it is more likely that this is going to be a Rise Lina or a Bland Lina, and they're just going to, roam around with one stun from the charge, secondary stun to the LSA. Then if you're ganking a lane with Axe or Queen of Pain, the damage is definitely going to be there. So if Flipside want to roam around with those two heroes, Lina may, need to pick up the pace a little bit because she's running with a Spirit Breaker. But if she does, then that burst combo is very easily able to take out this IO or the new Shadow Shaman that 4FC have just grabbed.
And Shadow Shaman, so slow as well with the movement speed, easy target for a Spirit Breaker. Of course, Shadow Shaman by itself, definitely a good hero, has a great skill set, has the burst from the other shock, double lockdown, hex and shackles, and of course mass serpent wards. Especially if you can kind of make the enemy focus elsewhere, just have the mass serpent wards slowly kind of split push. And of course you can also use them in the fight, maybe trap somebody in if need be. Especially since not too many heroes on Flipside probably want to go for face boots, which is one of the easier ways in getting out of a ward trap if it does come out. So it can work out, but like I said, may also be just an easy target for Flipside to just get easy kills, and once you get the kill, suddenly 4 versus 5, so much easier to fight.
We got that Storm Spirit ban out from the Flipside side. So they're definitely making sure that their lack of stuns is not going to be too heavily punished, as Witch Doctor is going to hit the bin from 4FC. They got to read that this Lina is going to be played as core, and though that is very common, it's not too uncommon that we see teams bust out that support Lina either. It's going to be probably even chances, I would say. This flip side do have that flexibility, and I guess that's one of the strengths of picking up the hero. In this type of position, you leave the enemies guessing, and, well, you still leave the enemies guessing. Wind Ranger for flip side, I have no idea what's going to happen with the Lina and the Wind Ranger. Pretty interchangeable, actually, as far as the roles that they can serve.
Yeah, I would think it's probably going to be a Lina support instead of the Wind Ranger, but looks like they can change things around. They may even run like an Axe jungle and do something even weirder, I don't know. Like Queen of Pain offlane, Lina mid. I guess it's nice to have things open like that, but for FC now, for them it should be maybe a little bit more straightforward. I'm expecting the Bristleback to go offlane, Viper into the mid, so a kind of a harder carry now maybe. It's something that would fit perfectly. I mean, Slark isn't just all that popular, plus Flipside have reasonable lockdown as well to deal with the Slark if need be. Do you like go Medusa, do you go really late, or do you go more mid-game oriented?
They could definitely get away with grabbing a Medusa right now. Even though Flipside can put a lot of pressure onto that Dusa, they have very, very strong frontliners, the Bristleback Viper, and though you would always kind of want to have the Bristleback tethered up with that IO, a Medusa with overcharge is freaking scary as well. So 4FC can go deep into that late game strategy, and it seems unlikely that no matter what Flipside actually assign their lanes to be, that they're gonna end up with an offensive tri-lane. I think that's probably the least likely scenario. Not impossible, but they will get a pretty nice time on whoever they decide to actually farm up there. They could also consider, anti-mage or something like that, or just grab a Puck. Off-lane Puck with a safe lane Viper, or dual lanes now with Bristleback IO mid.
If it is the Bristleback IO mid though, it's like, if it's up against a Queen of Pain, what do you really accomplish by running a dual lane like that?
Well, you definitely won't kill off the Queen of Pain, that's for sure. But it does allow the IO pretty easy access into the stackable jungle camps. And when you are running a Bristleback, killing off creeps as hard as they may be, even the dreaded mud golems, is pretty much a cakewalk. So then for 4FC, that does have its advantages. Is it going to be good enough to justify the Puck going into a hornet's nest of a lane? I don't know. That's we're going to have to wait and see about that one.
So both teams running maybe slightly different lineups. I think Flipside has the more exotic one, but only by a tiny bit. It's not like the heroes are heroes that we don't see at all. Lina maybe a little bit less so, same with the Wind Ranger, but definitely no strangers in all fairness. But now, as we get into the game, which was slightly delayed with the start, but hopefully it's gonna go without any other interruptions here. So for the Flipside side on the Radiant, we're gonna have Rise on the Lina, leaving Unicorn playing the Queen of Pain with Wind Ranger handled by Baby Knight heading towards the mid lane, Blan on the Spirit Breaker, and last one is going to be Ace on the Axe.
And for 4FC, we got Krilly, who's going to be playing the Bristleback on the offlane, looking to go solo right now, actually. Pablo's going to be playing the Puck. Looks like he's going mid with Eris Loco on the IO. Up towards top, it's going to be Strangby on the Viper, and Steph Style is on the Shadow Shaman. I don't expect these lanes to stick for 4FC. It looks like they're going to shuffle around just a little bit, but Bristleback solo offlane, dual lane with the Puck mid? Is that actually going to be a thing, or are 4FC going to go in full on dual lanes? Looks like dual lanes are going to be a little bit more appealing for them, but man, dual lane, Queen of Pain, Lina, that is very, very difficult to deal with only one range hero in the IO, and IO really doesn't want to trade hits with either of these heroes.
IO is just really, really weak early on, unless you have really like a great partner or maybe a great tri-lane setup with the IO like that. But like I said, this offlane just not going to be fun for them, I think. Krilly can definitely just handle his own there as well with the IO really providing only some regen every now and then. So it should be fine, but you're not getting as much as you would expect, probably as, oh, we might have some action already. Strangby takes some damage. Bounty Rune was picked up by the Wind Ranger and the Queen of Pain, so Flipside gets both of them. There's the Shackle Shot just for a mini stun. Ace, he does have another Battle Hunger if it's necessary. The Tether comes in, but I don't think it's going to be enough to charge. Ace coming from Blan, he really needs only one attack, and that's going to be First Blood, I believe. Nope. What? Blan didn't get it out. Was it the Tether slow that prevented that attack?
It looked like it. It looked like he was stunned, but he was certainly not stunned because there were no stuns there. Eris Loco now with the body blocks is going to secure Strangby's escape. That was really weird. Like, you land the charge, you're 9 times out of 10 going to get at least one attack, and I'm pretty sure Viper was low enough, although Viper fairly tanky with 5 armor. Maybe he would have survived that additional right click, but Bland definitely did not attack there. I don't know exactly what happened, but either way, 4FC going to get away with what could have been a really bad situation. It's instead just a pretty bad situation, as most of the heroes are pretty roughed up. They got to eat through a lot of their regen. Viper even has to go all the way back to the base. So even though Flipside don't draw first blood, it's still a pretty nice success for them.
Yeah, they don't get anything out of it on the top lane themselves, but Axe already back to the lane and didn't miss all that much, so that's gonna be a nice thing for them. Stiff style, of course, got some nice XP as well from it, but both sides missing a little bit there. But first blood definitely would have been way worse because it would have meant that you're gonna delay things out anyway, plus even lose more gold. But now looking at the mid lane, Baby Knight is gonna have a bottle soon enough. Same can be said for Pablo as well. Probably it's gonna be Wind Ranger getting it a tiny bit earlier. But top lane's trying to be again. There's gonna be another charge this time around. I don't think they're gonna have enough to get the kill, especially since Ace does not have the Berserker's Call. But the amount of pressure an Axe is applying to a Viper is kind of weird to see, because usually Viper should easily win that 1v1 matchup.
Yeah, but that's what you get whenever you pick up a Spirit Breaker. You're easily able to charge in and start a fight out of nowhere that the Viper really can't avoid. His support Shadow Shaman has grabbed level 1 in the shock. I don't really know if that was because of that scenario earlier where they were kind of in that run and gun fight. Maybe he thought he'd get a kill with it. But this shock is definitely not going to be helping at all versus a Spirit Breaker, especially versus a double damage Spirit Breaker. He's holding it for Baby Knight right now. He's actually going to raise Pablo to it. I guess the nice thing about putting this puck in the mid lane instead of off is that you're more likely to draw fire from the Spirit Breaker. And as puck, you're probably never going to get hit by that charge unless you really screw up.
Yeah, it's Baby Knight will have to like really perfectly time his shackle shot or something, or maybe power shot just to try to bait out that phase shift. But like I said, if he's on point, he should really dodge it every single time. As top lane, another charge possibly coming in again. Shackles onto Bland, might have a first blood here. Then again, Eris Loco, look at the damage from one counter helix. It's even level 2 Ace. Did not go for the Berserker's Call, which may kind of end up biting them in the ass. And Steph Style does draw first blood. If only he had the Berserker's Call, easy like 2-man Berserker's Call, maybe a couple of creeps within it as well, and Eris Loco I think might have gone down first.
Yeah, deciding to go for the second point counter helix, the damage doesn't really scale fantastically unless you're actually sitting in a creep wave and get several spins off. In that situation, having additional Berserker's Call, though, it's not necessarily a necessity up against 4FC. Again, they're not up against a Queen of Pain or Storm Spirit or anything like that in lane. It's probably going to be enough because Spirit Breaker really does struggle at sticking to his targets because he's only level 1 right now. And really that level 1 charge not really too impressive, but he's going to use that level 1 charge to go down towards Krillian on the bottom lane. Unicorn's there with the level 2 Shadow Strike, body blocking again from Bland. LSA going to be wound up, thrown, and Krilli is going to die.
So it's going to be 1-1 now. Of course, Flipside get their own kill a little bit later, but if you look at the last hits now, Queen of Pain heavily winning his own lane. Mid lane, Wind Ranger isn't that far up ahead, but still slightly leading against the puck. Axe has one last hit over the Viper as well. So all in all, I think the laning definitely favoring Flipside for now. And I don't really see things changing all that much too soon. Maybe Viper is gonna have slightly better time as he gets more points than Nether Toxin or Poison Attack. But other than that, Queen of Pain should still be dominating. Wind Ranger is probably gonna start having a better time as well, especially now with the Regen Rune in her bottle. It's really... Maybe the Axe not getting the perfect time is enough for 4FC to kind of recover themselves, because if Axe also got off to a really fast blink, it could have been just really devastating.
Yeah, he's not having the perfect game, but still his game is a lot better than Axe's typically are, where at this point they would have died a couple times and or been forced to move to the jungle. Ace is going to decide to go there right now. His ward just got taken out, so you can no longer sit by and idly leech the experience. If you get tagged with a shackle, most likely you're just going to die. So it is time for Ace to move out and start jungling, and really this is where you are going to be fortunate that you've grabbed those additional points in counter helix over anything else. So Ace seemingly prepared for it, though it did hurt him that one time. Looks like it's not really going to hurt him too much now, as additional points in spin, though again the scaling doesn't seem very impressive. It does help you clear out those creeps a lot faster. So Axe gonna build towards his Blink Dagger, but still Flipside are leading the way in CS, and still they have this cannon in Bland that they can aim towards pretty much anyone, but really it's just Krilly who's going to be scared about this now.
Yeah, Rai is also getting decent levels on the Lina, so if she gets to level 6, gonna have a really low cooldown, 70 seconds I believe should be for the Laguna. Yeah, Laguna level 1. So once he gets level 6, blowing up people is gonna be so much easier as they try to go for Krilly, they get the slow charge coming in as well. They have a Sonic Wave if need be, and she's gonna pop it. So Unicorn secures an easy kill before Steph Styles TP even finishes. And this Bristleback, only level 4, 4 last hits, 2 deaths. I've seen those games with Bristlebacks before, and it's been a really sad outcome in the end for them.
Yeah, they usually don't end very well for the Bristleback. That was actually pretty fortunate for 4FC, actually. If Steph Style came a little bit earlier, then the charge might have been transferred to the Shadow Shaman, and he's level 4. He's not necessarily the easiest kill in the world. But with 3 heroes there from Flipside, they definitely would have had enough to dive that, because Spiritbreaker was at full HP, or full-ish HP. So that could have been really bad for 4FC. Instead, it's just kind of bad, and they're going to try to put Krilly in the jungle now. Stacks are there to work with. This is a quad stack of hard creeps, and for Krilly, he will have that extra regen from Eris Loco's bottle in order to help clear this out. It's not going to immediately recover him into this game, but man, if you get a couple more of these, it's a pretty nice way to start.
It does still take you quite a long time to farm this up if you compare it to maybe a Batrider or even like a Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend probably the fastest, triple raise and suddenly the entire creep wave down almost. So Krilly, he's definitely gonna get some nice farm to recover, but like I said, he needs a little bit more than this. Their supports though, have to commend them for even just stacking up this much as they have. So it's always nice to see if the supports are doing their work, not just idly sitting by and doing nothing. In the meantime though, Axe has it to level 6, has the Culling Blade of course, still quite a way away from that Blink Dagger, but even then, if somebody wants to come gank the lane, it is so much easier to just get the kill, secure it with the decapitation. Mid lane also, Baby Knight pulling heavily ahead now, 47 to the 30 last hits of Pablo's puck. And with this Baby Knight up to 1k gold now, what item do you even go for? Maelstrom, Blink, Force Staff, maybe even build a mech for your team?
It seems like Force Staff is probably going to be the safest. Not great versus the Dream Coil, but versus everything else that 4FC have, it's probably going to be your safest bet. Up towards top, we got another charge. Strangby has been left alone for quite a long time. That's probably going to remain the case, actually. Bland has to cancel as, wow, they force out 3 TPs. That's probably the best 100 mana cost result that you're going to get. 100 mana for 300 gold from the enemy side. Seems pretty good to me, though. Spiritbreaker is out of mana. They do have to back off from that scenario. Still a pretty good exchange overall for Flipside. And Pablo's actually hit with Sonic Wave over in the river. Unicorn does not have a blink, however. He already used it. It's going to pop a regen. Pablo going to be Shadow Struck to death. Level 2. This looks like it's lethal. Power Shot's going to miss. He'll phase shift once, and it looks like he will live, albeit barely.
Oh, 6 health, man. So unfortunate for Unicorn there. Phase shift, so annoying to deal with. Any other hero would have just died, or at least most heroes, and maybe if you have a heal, if you're like a Dazzle or something, but still they do force puck away for a pretty long time there. Means extra free farm for Baby Knight there, up to 1.6k gold all of a sudden. Now 22 last hits ahead. If it continues like this, it's not gonna be too long before Wind Ranger actually doubles the last hits of the puck.
Oh, bottom lane though. Krilly, he has 2 deaths already. Does Bland care about this tower? Looks like the answer is no, but the answer should be yes. They're going to jump in for a scream, but Unicorn suddenly is going to get silenced and brought down. That might have been a little bit too much. They do force a couple of TPs down, but it's definitely a little bit more than that 100 mana from previous that actually forced them down there. So maybe a little bit over-aggressive from Flipside, perhaps just a touch. And, well, Krilly's going to draw a kill on a pretty nice target as well, Queen of Pain.
Yeah, Queen of Pain, as strong as the hero may be, if this early on you blink into a puck, or well, to be honest, in any stage of the game, unless you have a BKB, if you blink into a puck, this is exactly what should happen like 90% of the time almost. Queen of Pain, you're just not all that tanky. All she has now is just an Alt Talisman and Power Treads. May not even have had the Power Treads and Strength, not entirely sure about that, but still a couple of heroes on the bottom side for Flipside. They may want to defend this, but I think 4FC are already backing off, so they're not going to really go overextend themselves now.
Well, they are putting Krilly in kind of a bad position. Io does not have a relocate out. It looks like Krilly will get out of there safe and sound. In the meantime, Baby Knight is just over in the mid lane, has a Mithril Hammer right now. He's going to get coiled, however. He's going to snap that one immediately because he still has a little bit more wind run. Body blocking from Pablo, not really going to do that much. Now here comes Ace. not really do much either, except for passively force the enemies out of Baby Knight's path. So, oh man, Maelstrom looks like for the Wind Ranger, they do get the tower denied. No, it's actually destroyed. Heroic catapult maybe, but tower down, I suppose, for Flipside. Mission success.
So really nicely done, and the decision to immediately break the Dream Coil as well, just to get out of the range of the Shadow Shaman, was probably the correct one here. Dream Coil level 1, not that long of a stun, so you can really afford to do that as well. So nicely done. Did keep his cool there. They even had the Spirit Breaker charging in if it really ended up with 4FC diving too hard. But still, lots of farm going their way, network wise. Wind Ranger number 1, comfortably so. Queen of Pain not doing too bad either. Even the Axe, only about a 200 difference with the Puck as well as the Viper for now. And he is only 300 gold short of his Blink Dagger being finished. After this camp, gonna be even closer to it. Probably like a 100 gold difference or so. So Ace, probably by 12 minutes in, gonna have his Blink.
Yeah, the top lane for both these teams, not off to the greatest start, but they're recovering pretty darn well, especially this Viper, who was having a unexpectedly low amount of CS versus a lane and a tri-lane where he should have been dominating by all rights. So Viper is recovering and then some, has a Ring of Regen and the Ring of Aquila completed, so he's blinging out for himself, but Axe has, maybe the ultimate bling, the Blink Dagger. I don't know who's going to be on the receiving end of it, but for Flipside, they want it to be the Puck. We'll see if Puck has fast enough fingers to phase shift and silence his way out of that.
And Puck is also rather close to his Blink Dagger, so if he should die now within the next minute, maybe 2, it's just not only gonna hurt their team in the sense that they won't have their own initiation or counter initiation as spot on. It's also gonna kind of mentally hurt Pablo. The closer you are to an item, the harder it is. But Ace, screws up the Blink Dagger somehow. The charge may still get the kill. Dream Coil was used to cancel the charge last second. And with this, they do not get it. Plus, I think they still saw Axe having a Blink Dagger.
Yeah, that was weird. Maybe he just misclicked the Blink Dagger for his boots or something like that. He definitely called and then tried to Battle Hunger and, well, it wasn't really successful in either of them. Top lane is going to be pushed by Serpent Wards. Axe trying to go for that deny will be unsuccessful. Now they definitely know that the Axe has his Blink, and Puck, because he did survive that, is going to grab the Blink Dagger of his own. Granted, doesn't have the coil for another minute, so Blink Dagger initiation from the Puck not really going to be super powerful at this stage, at least not for another minute. But yeah, that was just a really weird thing to see from Flipside. It's not often where you mess up the Blink Dagger part of your Blink initiation.
Did Pablo just use an illusory orb before that or something? Maybe that clipped him, not entirely sure, but even though they don't get the kill, they don't lose that much. Yes, the tier 1 tower goes down top lane, but it was in exchange for the Mass Serpent Wards. So for like another minute from now, you can at least expect the Roshan not to happen, for example. Baby Knight with the Invis Rune, scouting out Steph style. This could be an easy kill, then again Eris Loco is close by, but doesn't even have a relocate.
Well, with the focus fire, it's really hard to defend against that, even though tether with bottle is ridiculous. Yeah, a level 11 Wind Ranger focus fire, so level 2 plus Maelstrom, that's a little bit more ridiculous. Baby Knight's assassination power is pretty darn high right now. Probably not able to kill off the Viper because Corrosive Skin does block a lot of that lightning damage, but if he lands a shackle on the Puck, hell, even the Bristleback, not invulnerable to this combination from this Wind Ranger. These heroes are very vulnerable, and speaking of vulnerable, Bristleback might be on the receiving end of a gank one more time. Ace this time, not going to mess up his initiation. Blink in from Unicorn, wasting no time to drop their ultimates. And Bristleback is going to hit the deck for the third time. Got a little bit of farm since the last Power Treads picked up, but yeah, this bottom lane still is not very safe, and it's going to continue to not be safe, because Unicorn is going to grab his secondary Oblivion Staff. So Orchid incoming, Bristleback's got to watch himself, especially this Puck has to watch himself.
They will at least have the mech soon enough. Viper about 100 gold away from that one, so it's gonna help, given that they actually group up and fight using that mech. But this Bristleback really has had a bad game, and Bristleback is a strong hero, but not as much from behind. You don't have a Bristleback ability maxed out, which usually is the thing that really makes you tanky, and of course, Axe does have the ability to make you face whichever way the Axe wants. Of course, this time around, Unicorn, he threw the entire Sonic Wave into the back of the Bristleback, but they just had so much firepower they didn't even care. They still had a Laguna Blade if need be, which I would have preferred they use because it's just such a lower cooldown. But in the end, won't matter now. Orchid is picked up, like you said. Definitely good timing. Baby Knight has even more farm. Aghanim Scepter will be the next item for her. So things looking pretty good for Flipside. It's not like they have an overwhelming lead. It's nearing the 5k mark in net worth XP. about 3,500. But the one thing that they may lack a little bit is Roshan. Focus Fire is probably a pretty nice way in dealing with it, but they have no sources of minus armor as of now.
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit rough, especially when 4FC, they could drop Serpent Wards there and then instantly, cut off Roshan. However, it's going to be Unicorn, first of all, to be in a little trouble. We'll get Blink coiled. Blink will snap it, but it looks like that stun duration just not long enough. Queen of Pain is going to make it home safe and sound. That was a 4-5-man, I think it was a 4-man smoke, clearly was just in the lane, but that was quite a lot of time invested from 4FC. They're going to do what they can to get something out of this, and they have Serpent Wards. They'll push this tower. But flip side, they're now in a position where they can defend. Unfortunately for the Axe, there's no great opportunity for a call here. The angles just aren't right. Probably Baby Knight landing a Shackle is going to be a little bit of a better way of initiating. Baby Knight, though, will be spotted by an Observer Ward, and the tower will be dropping down one way or another. They get the Hex off onto Bland as he does charge in. Blink forward, Axe going to whiff his initiation once again. Baby Knight is going to take a lot of focus fire in the meantime by Strangby. The Laguna Blade, the Viper, but with Mech, he'll stay up for a very long time. Sonic Wave through as well, but just seemingly doesn't do enough. That's two of the big heroes down from Flipside, and the rest of them, they're on the run. Bland and Ace going to chase forward and kill off the IO, but that's going to cost Spiritbreaker his life. Ace going to fight to the death. We'll get a double kill in the lane. Then he will most likely die to Krilly, but the rest of his team has already died, cleaned up by the puck. And Ace is going to try to hide in the corner, but he is going to go down as well. That was a disastrous initiation from Flipside, if you could even call it that. A whiffed charge into a completely whiffed Berserker's Call into Focus Fire onto the Viper. Come on, guys.
Just way too forced from Flipside. Of course, 4FC, they did place down this Observer Ward just a little bit before the initiation happened, so they knew most of what was going on. Krilly, he's getting charged now, although Plan by himself can't really do much of anything, I think, as the Spirit Breaker. He does at least know now that he TP'd out with his charge direction suddenly changing. But really great fight. A huge chunk of net worth suddenly down the drain for Flipside. Only a 2.5k difference now. XP, well, almost zeroed out completely. So that's kind of a costly one. Although, late game, which side would you even just give the advantage to?
Oh man, Bristleback IO is an absolute powerhouse in the late game, but that only really works if you're able to keep from getting CC'd and instantly killed off. And the burst combination, the assassination power of Flipside right now is huge. Ace, even though he did miss that initial call, was able to do a crap ton of damage in that last fight. Not to mention the Laguna Blade power, the Orchid silence into Sonic Wave power, and the focus fired, eventually Mjolnired and Aghanimed damage from Baby Knight's Wind Ranger. Maybe super late game 4FC will have it with this Bristleback, but I think Flipside have it on lockdown for most of the game, so they could afford to make a couple of those maybe not as ideal fights happen. Of course, they don't really want to, but sometimes when your initiation is that bad, you don't really have much of a choice. 4FC now, they're going to smoke up and look for something else. They're going to run into Unicorn once again. I think I've seen this before. This time, Blink Silence instead of Blink Coil, and it will miss as Unicorn gets out of there very quickly. Ace going to come in there with a nice 3-man initiation. Charge through is going to connect onto all of them as well. They take out the puck, and then instantly the Shadow Shaman, this time ignoring Strangby until very last. They'll kill off the IO, and now they will focus their fire onto Strangby. Power shot through. Unicorn's going to draw a triple kill. Bland going to try to TP out of there, but Unicorn is going to be the one on the run after all. Krilly going to turn around and try to chase forward for that Queen of Pain. He's all alone, however, and Baby Knight's up on the high ground. It's pretty darn hard to kill off a Queen of Pain like that. Baby Knight's going to start focusing the fire, and Bristleback, he will magic stick up. He will live to fight another day. For FC, they actually put up a much better fight than I was really expecting, getting initiated upon like that. A lot of credit going to the roster there for those Serpent Wards.
It was a little bit of a misplay from the Axe, because he got the Berserker's Call, he tried to dunk the Shadow Shaman, but missed the timing of it. So suddenly your dunk is on cooldown, you can't get the extra movement speed to help out the team. And that little bit of a mistake was also what allowed those Serpent Wars to even come out in the first place. So, slight misplaced. Flipside could have taken it a little bit better, of course. I don't think Baby Knight was there from the start. If he had been in there with the Focus Fire, with Shackle Shot and the Power Shot, could have been so much easier as planned. He's charging something? Nope, just a creep. Not even going to a hero, and is that a Shadow Blade he's building?
Yep, Bland loves his Shadow Blade builds. I've seen him go for this build every single time that I've seen him play the Spirit Breaker, which has been a lot, actually. Probably like 4 times out of the 4 times I've seen Flipside. So, yeah, Shadow Blade does let you surprise them a little bit more with the charge. I don't know how effective of initiation that's going to be. Already, Steph Style does have a Sentry, and 4FC are very easily going to be able to pack more. But I guess when you do Shadow Blade, it prevents you from getting coiled out of it. That's kind of nice, I guess. Baby Knight, speaking of coiled, is going to get hit with it up towards top. Spirit Breaker's coming in, but Baby Knight's going to be long dead by the time he arrives. Ace going to come in with a two-man call. Pablo dropping very low, will lose his head. Now onto Steph Style. Ace is going to try to focus. Spirit Breaker is incoming, but Strangby is here as well, and I'd be a little bit more scared of this Viper if I were Flipside. They're going to TP out with Bland, but it will get canceled. Now Bland stuck in a corner, needs to charge out, but he just doesn't have it on cooldown. Will Nether Strike to a creep. Now he's on the run, but earned up. Spirit Balls will kill him off, or something will kill him off. Looks like that was an earned charge. Either way, it's not a great trade for Flipside. I think that was the first relocation, and worked out pretty darn well.
So, I don't know what Spirit Breaker was thinking there, but charging into a Rasta and then trying to TP out, it just will not happen almost ever. Rasta maybe has his lockdowns on cooldown, but he has two of them, so it's highly likely that your TP will get cancelled. It was still a nice attempt, and with that attempt, there's one thing I think should happen in Dota in general, that a positive urn will cancel out a negative urn. It's not like it's going to cancel out and leave the positive effect, but it should at least remove the dot if you use the positive urn.
Yeah, for flavor reasons at the very least, like power of positivity.
I
It also
thought about it
just
so
does
many
heal
times.
more.
It's like people, they know it's not going to do anything as mid lane Ace gets the Berserker's Call, but Pablo should be tanky enough, especially with Ares Loco helping out with the tether there, and suddenly Ace, he's the one on the run. Bland tried to charge in, they get the Battle Hunger on Ares Loco, but even an IO should not die from this, I think.
Yeah, he's going to be just fine. He has Bottle, Magic Stick. He has so many things that he could use to save himself there. Bland, unfortunately, not getting in there with a charge, and because he used the Nether Strike previously, was unable to use that one to secure the kill on the IO, which would have definitely done it. They have IO actually packing a Vit booster now, so suddenly this little ball light a lot harder to kill, and actually has quite a lot more HP than this Puck, so maybe a deceptive target for Flipside, and it should be in their minds that focus down the IO first every single time. Maybe in the future it's not really going to be that easy for them.
Yeah, just everybody is really tanking up at the moment, and well, Shadow Shaman isn't tanking up, but getting extra mobility may just help out with the same course, just surviving. Does have the Blink Dagger now, so Shadow Shaman Blink Hex is there. Has a level 2 Mass Serpent Wars also, so things definitely not looking too bad, although Baby Knight as well as Unicorn definitely farming a hell of a lot faster, as you can see from the net worth. It's just 4FC staying in there and just showing that they are taking in general better fights for the most part than Flipside have. At least considering Flipside, they did have the advantage, but just were unable to really force things with it. And Flipside, they're playing so defensively at the moment as well, just a little bit afraid of the IO relocates, I think.
And really, they should be. It was the Wind Ranger to die very, very quickly. She is pretty tanky now with the Aghanim Scepter completed, but can't really out-tank a incoming Shadow Shaman or an incoming Bristleback or something like that. Mid lane will be pushed. Fortification is up. Maybe they'll clean out these Serpent Wards to get a deny. These Serpent Wards doing quite a bit. 16 HP. Ace going to swoop in there for the deny. So pushed in from 4FC. They don't get the tower. They give up a lot of gold in the way of those Serpent Wards. But still, I think 4FC are going to be pretty happy about that, because now they're hidden in the smoke, and they're going to go this time for Unicorn once again. Okay, first two times didn't work, and this time the Queen of Pain is a BKB, so I don't know if that's going to work, but running into Rise, that's much better. Double Blink, Stepstyle has one as well, and Lena's going to bite the dust immediately. And will they get anything else? Unicorn does know exactly where they are. Stepstyle was charged, might still be charged. No, it's going to be canceled, but yeah, Lena in the wrong place at the wrong time, and wow, Shadow Shaman with a Blink. That is some way of initiating.
It's just so easy, Blink Hex. Of course, the Hex is a little bit stronger if you're a Lion, but the follow-up arguably can be better, of course. Sometimes it can be worse as well. Lion definitely focusing on just blowing up that one target. But still, it's potent for sure, and next time around, do they have an additional smoke? They don't have it in the shop. It's going to restock in 1 minute. In their inventories, none either, but in about a minute for FC, they will also have the Mass Serpent Wars off cooldown, so they may just smoke themselves into Roche Pit, for example, if they want to.
Yeah, they've been using their smokes pretty darn liberally. For right now, though, it seems like they're just keeping their eyes open for a relocation target. They're just going to clear off some Ancients right now, but certainly killing off Roshan for 4FC going to be pretty darn easy. They could even sneak in there with quite a few heroes. Shadow Shaman Puck can instantly blink in, and Bristleback can run in there pretty quickly as well. So if Flipside aren't really staring at their minimap, they might miss it. Over towards mid, though, it's going to be Flipside to smoke up first. They have Strangby in their sights, but Ares Loco's right behind them. Stepstyle's there with some disables. This is not the person they want to initiate on. They're going to find Stepstyle instead. Sonic Wave through, won't instantly get the kill. Blink forward for a call will cancel any hopes of relocating out. They're going to try to focus the Wisp now. Dunked, though. That's not going to happen. They're going to focus now on Strangby. No, instead, maybe towards Krilly, but Baby Knight's going to be the one to take focus, but with the dodge, and the focus fire. He'll turn around for a lot of damage to Krilly, but it simply won't be enough. The Bristleback way too tanky. Still Strang B is staying alive. Will kill off the Spirit Breaker before he dies. Ace does grab a triple with that dunk. Now they're going to look for Krilly, but this is a tough kill to take. Green Pain going to grab it anyway. That's going to be 4 kills for Flipside. They're going to get away with their axe. Pablo awkwardly looking around for someone else. A little bit late to re-arrive, but looks like he might get a kill on Ace. Doesn't have a coil though, so that's still just going to be a one fight for Flipside. And I'm going to have to leave you alone for just a second.
Yeah, no problem. As Windranger now looks to be also going for a BKB. Already has the Ogre Club in the inventory. As we just saw in this fight, Windranger, yes, dishing out quite a bit of damage with the focus fire, but even so, just so damn squishy herself at the same time. Does have an Aghanim Scepter for stats, but looks to not be enough for now. Pablo just coming in, getting the Waning Rift, Illusion Herb, as well as the Dream Coil on the target. At least 4 stacks of Quill Spray by the Bristleback, and probably some Focus Fire by the Bristle himself. But Bristle now does have an SNY, so he's definitely pretty damn tanky, as long as he manages to kind of turn his back, especially to the Focus Fire of the Windranger. Viper though has his own Aghanim Scepter finish, so we're getting lots of Aghanims in this game. I think this is at least the 3rd one by now. Should be at least. Viper has one. Yeah, Ace as well as Baby Knight also have it on the axe, as well as the Windranger. So item wise, both teams getting upgrades, but we do have Master Serpent Wars now into the Roche Pit, but they don't have anybody to really tank it up, so those Master Serpent Wars may be a little bit wasted, or if not, Flipside, at least they did now have enough time to come in and defend this if they want to.
Yeah, Krilly is there now with the goo. Roshan going to drop a lot faster because of it. They might get initiated on by Ace, but the call's not great. They're going to land a coil onto 3, however. Baby Knight dropping very low immediately, plus Ace as well. LSA going to completely whiff as Pablo jumps right back in, trying to kill off this axe, but dies for his troubles. They're going to be warded away by Krilly and Strangby, the weak heroes in the back for FC. They'll take out Rise. Now they're going to go for Baby Knight. Gets a Hexed off Steph style, and Baby Knight is going to die. Bland arrives way too late, however. He's up against 4 heroes. He's going to try to Nether Strike his way out like last time. It's not going to work. And 4FC, man, they're front line is just that, a really brick wall to get through for Flipside, and they just can't do it.
Yeah, and Flipside kind of have the opposite. Axe is pretty beefy, but other than that, they just die way too fast. Queen of Pain, yes, you have your BKB, but even the physical damage of Bristleback is rather high if you have Warpath up to 7 stacks, with the Warpath being level 3 for you. I mean, also the speed that Bristleback is running at. For a second I thought he has the haste rune, but nope, it was just 520 movement speed without a haste. So only 2 movement speed off, and that's just with your normal items and Warpath stacks. Totally legit. I mean, it's so sick. Queen of Pain, just look at the net worth, 14,000. And what does she accomplish in a fight? Little, just almost nothing, I'd say.
Yeah, you have to get the spells to land on the right people, and in that fight there was not really a chance to land those skills on the right people. You're not going to want to throw those skills towards Bristleback because it'll just do no damage. Pretty much same thing towards the Viper, so you got to get to the backline. Puck, graciously for 4FC, was offered up as a sacrifice to Flipside, put himself on the front lines to get that coil and the silence, and he was very easily brought down because of it, but everyone else on 4FC protected by the pretty good positioning, first of all, from 4FC, making it so that there are only really 2 routes for Flipside to initiate in that fight, and the 2 routes were blocked off by the Bristleback and the Viper, so how are you going to get into the backline? You really just can't. So 4FC, they take a really nice fight. They still have the Aegis on this Bristleback. Serpent Wards are available right now, and they are level 2, so for sure 4FC are going to be looking for a push somewhere. It's just a matter of where they actually set their sights. They see Unicorn up on the top lane. They're going to make a beeline. They also have a DD rune on the Viper. And I mean, Viper's not really doing the most damage right now. He's mostly just there for his health pool. But still, between double damage and Nether Toxin, this tower is not long for life. It's not fortifiable either.
So 4FC suddenly not looking bad at all. If they get this tower, they're also going to claim that network lead now. In XP, they are already slightly ahead. So yes, Flipside may have the highest net worth in the game, the Queen of Pain, by about 4,000 so over the dire side heroes. But even then, not all that important, as we have seen fight after fight. Krilly also gonna get his own BKB soon enough on the Bristleback. So this Bristleback, as if it wasn't hard enough to be brought down as it is, we do have one item pick up, a Shadow Blade and Spirit Breaker, but really like team fight wise or getting kills, it's not gonna do you a hell of a lot.
Just a little bit of extra damage, and Spirit Breaker is not really tanky enough to make good use of that extra attack speed or the extra damage, so it's just an initiation tool and a very narrow one at that. Really gonna put himself at the front lines because he does have that Aegis, but here comes Bland, invis up, is gonna go through Strangby right into the back to Eris Loco. and then he'll run away. You don't actually auto attack after you land the charge, it just stuns by itself. So he's gonna get in there and then get the hell out. I don't know if the Shadow Blade has given him value yet, but they have defended their high ground. Tower very easily dropped down to half HP. 4FC will make a retreat for now, maybe just to recharge a little bit more. Krilly, I mean, he's still pretty healthy. They still can go for more pressure. They just have to worry about their bottom lane, which is pushing in just a little bit.
So I totally know what's the plan of the Shadow Blade. You get it in hopes that the enemy will not figure out that it's an Invis Spirit Breaker stunning you, that they think like ghosts, like the entire map is against you. That is their plan here.
Yeah, you're trying to invade a Indian burial ground or something like that. It sounds like a pretty solid strategy.
That's
like, what's going on?
If they
Why
win
is my
now,
hero
it's a
blocked?
100% win rate, so...
Oh man. Next level Dota, or previous level Dota, we're still not sure which. We'll try to figure it out, you guys, and let you know, but right now 1720. Flip side, they're gonna actually put two heroes in the mid lane. Now that has so far not really been working out for them. Pablo has a haste and he's coming in hot. They don't see Baby Knight. In fact, they don't really see much of anyone, but they are getting ready for a relocate in. If this puck catches anyone, you'll scepter into relocate, and that's a pretty clean way of initiating. But instead, no, they're just going to sacrifice their top lane tier 1, not really too healthy to begin with, and then go for a tier 2 tower down towards bottom. And flip side, and they could pretty much barely defend their high ground. They're definitely not going to try to defend this tier 2, and if they do, it's not going to end well for them.
Can they quite... Well, I think they could get the tier 2 themselves with the level 3 focus fire. And the good thing about the Aghanim Scepter on Baby Knight is you don't really have to worry that much about using it on towers, just because it is only a 15-second cooldown. So they may just trade tier 2s even. I think they should have enough firepower for it.
Yeah, Baby Knight does do a crap ton of damage, and with Focus Fire, this tower is fortifiable, and it will be fortified. Can't say the same for the bottom lane of Flipside, so 4FC going to be on the losing end of a damage race. However, will they be able to pressure the high ground? It seems like Flipside are going to retreat. This time, Step Style does have those additional Serpent Wards, so the pushing is going to be a lot faster. Unicorn going to Shiva's up for Vision, not really do too much else with it. It's a nice item to have as the Queen of Pain, but even with that armor, I don't really think he has enough to man-fight Krilly. Speaking of Krilly, gonna get Nether Struck in. Ace gonna whiff his initiation on the call once again. Krilly gonna go straight to town on that axe. He doesn't have his Aegis any longer, but he does have Eris Loco right behind him with additional healing support. Looks like with that BKB down from the Bristleback, they're gonna have to make the call to retreat. That was an awkward BKB to say the least from Krilly.
At least it does still secure them quite a bit of damage on the tier 3 tower. Up to, I think, 60... or 668 health, yeah. So next time around they can definitely bring it down if they do the exact same thing. But flip side, knowing that it's a fresh BKB, so it's going to be a rather long cooldown, they do smoke up and try to look for kills. Ace, can you get that Blink Berserker Skull? The charge also going in. That stun should allow it, never mind. He's going to cancel it. And suddenly he gets used up himself. Do they counter initiate? No, they're going to back off. We weren't quite close enough to each other, but wasn't planning the Shadow Blades? Or is there a gem?
Yeah.
No, there's no gem on Pablo.
No, they didn't see him coming. He just decided not to go for it, and I guess that's fine. He doesn't get punished at the very least. And I guess they just don't know who's actually around the corner. If suddenly Bristleback comes in from the top side and then Viper comes in from the bottom, then you're in a really bad position as flip side, getting surrounded, and in that case you have no chance of getting a good axe call off, and things just get really bad really quickly. They're still charging at Pablo, and this time Ace is right around the corner in position, but there are no creeps here, so even if they do land this charge, what are they actually doing with it? And Pablo actually sees Ace blink forward, maybe looking to drop that coil. He's gonna get hit with that Invis Blend. Another strike as well. Pablo's taking a hell of a lot of damage, but Steph Styles here with the disables, gonna hex up Ace. Now they're gonna Viper Strike the axe as well. Do they have enough disable for both? Looks like they'll, no, just hold it up for Bland. Ace will get away, but Bland certainly will not. 4FC reinforcing top lane very quickly, and pretty much that is what they were scared of in jumping in towards the mid lane. That's exactly what they were afraid of, and that's exactly what happened. And still, Eris Loco has a relocate just in case.
Oh, and has a regen rune as well, Krilly. He was just getting himself so low, farming up the creeps there, but he knew Eris Loco has all the regen in the world, like, literally almost. He's gonna run... Oh, power shot does miss, but regen still keeps on going. Now finally ends, but Krilly is close enough to full health for them to keep on going as Baby Knight. They do get the Viper Strike on her. Do they really get the follow-up lockdown? Well, they force the BKB. That's good enough already. The Shackle Shot though. Baby Knight, does he really want to fight this? Maybe Unicorn blinks in, gets the silence. Nice Berserker Skull lands on two. They pop the Sonic Wave. No Shadow Shaman, no Mass Serpent Wars, but Baby Knight, no BKB anymore, and probably is gonna lose his life. Slowed down by the Corrosive Skin Krilly. He's just so tanky, of course. Nobody's even focusing him, but In the end, it is going to be 1-for-1 and still definitely favoring 4FC for now.
And Eris Loco is going to return without the Viper, though he could have kept fighting Ace. He's going to jump in, still has that call because he did cancel, but Krilly's going to go straight for the jugular in Unicorn. Krilly now all alone. Let's see how tanky this Bristleback actually is. He's going to turn his back to the Laguna Blade. That's not really going to do that much. One too many heroes there. Maybe they should have brought this Viper back, but that was a doomed IO to say the least. Bristleback sticking around for a little bit too long. For Flipside, take pretty good fight because they get the initiation off onto the Shadow Shaman. They blow a lot of skills to bring down this Shadow Shaman. I think the Sonic Wave only hit that Shadow Shaman actually, so I mean that's commitment if I ever did see it. So mission success, they kill off the Shadow Shaman, and then after that, yeah, they're taking a beating from the Bristleback, but at least they could run away and kite the Bristleback because they're not being constantly hexed and shackled and everything like that.
So now that Pablo has a Hex as well, I mean, Spirit Breaker, he was charging him for a little while, but it is Spirit Breaker. Even before this Hex, I think there's like nothing you can do solo to kill the puck at the moment, at least not with the farm that the Spirit Breaker has. But Pablo now with the Hex may just get a superb initiation, of course. All the free cores on Flipside do have BKBs, but if you get Hexed before you BKB, it may still be the end of you. The good thing is though, the 4FC, they do not have a mass amount of burst, so you may just be able to survive long enough to get out of the Hex and then BKB. But depending on the situation, you may still be forced to just use the BKB purely defensively to be able to escape, not to stay in the fight.
Yeah, if it's someone like Baby Knight or Unicorn, then they're gonna just pop BKB, but just to live. But then they also have to use either their Wind Run or their Blink to get out of there, so that they don't just instantly die afterwards to a random Viper Strike or random Quills that are being thrown out. So it's a dangerous item to have for sure for this puck, and at the very least, it's just a little bit more HP, so that when the puck gets to the front line, as puck typically does need to do, not instantly going to die. Keeping the puck alive for another orb or another waning rift, I mean, that is going to be pretty nice value, especially when Krilly as well as Strangvi are just unlikely to die before this puck. So with the Viper and Bristleback constantly fighting, having the puck jump in and out of the fight, that's pretty much exactly what you want. 4FC, they're camped out waiting for Roshan. Unfortunately for them, they're sitting right on top of an Observer Ward from the Radiant, and if they do go in, there will be another Observer Ward from the Radiant watching them. But the speed at which they could Roshan, I think, is going to mean that they could go in and take it pretty much no matter what, especially with the positioning that Flipside are in right now. This is not a defend Roshan type of position from Flipside.
Yeah, unfortunately they don't have an IO relocate either to just really get close to it really fast, or no boot to travel for, let's say, 3 ends from an H Prophet, anything like that. They do use Mass Serpent Wards. It's definitely going to speed up Roshan, and of course if Flipside want to come and contest, they're going to have to fight in the Mass Serpent Wards for a little while. But if they fight out of the Roche Pit after this, there's not going to be Mass Serpent Wards, and it may still be their opening, but then again, it's into an Aegis as well, so for 4FC it's probably going to be like a win-win situation, because Mass Serpent Wards, yes, they're nice in a fight, but they're never guaranteed damage unless you really use it on a objective, on a building. Have it just do damage to that, but like team fight damage wise, it's never reliable because you may just run away from it, hide away from it.
And Flipside, they're actually going to smoke up and approach the Roshan pit even after they know that the Aegis has already been claimed. That was something that they could have done maybe like a minute earlier would have done it. Maybe they could crash that Roshan fight. I still don't predict that fight would go fantastically for them, but at least it's better than just awkwardly backing off. 4FC, they get their value from their Serpent Wards. They just have to wait a minute now, and they will have enough time to wait that minute and then have a lot of Aegis time left afterwards. So, flip side, they know that this push is incoming. They know that it's incoming once the Serpent Wards are back up, but what can they really do in the meantime? They just used a smoke, and about right now is the perfect time to use a smoke. Try to catch someone farming alone. Unfortunately for them, 4FC, they're not alone, so even if they do catch someone in theory, they wouldn't be able to do much about it. But right now, flip side, they're just forced to push out the lanes, farm what they can, and hope that the next fight is going to be going a little bit better. Queen of Pain still leading the net worth lead by quite a large margin. This Queen of Pain is stacked. It just doesn't seem like it matters at all.
Yeah, she even went for a Skadi. I thought like maybe go for a Hex. I mean, Skadi definitely nice for kiting purposes, but Bristleback, I think is still gonna be pretty damn fast even under the Eye of Skadi in all fairness. Although it also just buffs up the Queen of Pain's survivability. Is just surviving gonna be enough? Because you really need damage output from somewhere also. Maybe that Mjolnir finished up on Baby Knight is gonna be that damage, but I don't know about this Eye of Skadi. I think Hex probably in most cases would have been better.
I mean, I have Scotty's okay. You're not really going to outslow a Bristleback. Like, if he's trying to run away, he's going to be running away, whether you have Scotty or not. And in a man fight, Scotty's not going to do jack when Krilly's right on top of you. So, I mean, there aren't really many great items to grab as that Queen of Pain, but Scotty's as expensive as they come, really. You might as well try it. 4FC, they're going to try to go for this bottom lane push once again. Serpent Wards just falling short of killing off this tower. Krilly also taking quite a bit of damage. Shackle Shot can land onto 2. Strangby and Step Style in quite a bit of trouble. The lightning is going to flow. Ace jumps in there. Call canceled, however. Sonic Wave and Step Style. They're focusing a lot into Shadow Shaman, but they're not really getting much of anything. In the meantime, Bland and Ace going to try to go for Eris Loco, but Krilly's already in his BKB. He's already doing a lot of damage, but not enough damage to anyone. Everyone from the side backing off. Now Krilly's BKB runs out. Another Shackle Shot is going to hold out Strangby into place. He takes the Laguna Blade plus the dunk, and Unicorn is going to chase after Puck in the meantime, but it's going to be Krilly to awkwardly respawn into an LSA. Charge incoming again from the Spirit Breaker, and with Unicorn laying in there with the Shiva's effect, plus Baby Knight landing the 3rd Shackle Shot of the row. That's going to be almost a complete team wipe in favor of Flipside, and Baby Knight's Shackle Shot is what did it. Man, the initiation, it was, again, not the cleanest, but in those previous fights, it almost seems like Baby Knight hasn't gotten a single Shackle Shot to land.
Yeah, the first one, the angle was a little bit weird if you ask me, but definitely not as weird as it gets, because I've seen way worse ones. But double Shackle Shot, not only latching to a hero, but 2 heroes at the same time, it's just a ridiculous duration. It's more or less suddenly, oh, we just got Black Cold, but the hero is doing massive damage to us at the same time with Focus Fire. That's like a massive difference, to be honest. And also, they perfectly managed to split out the fight for 4FC. Unicorn just BKB, chasing down the Shadow Shaman, making it so that the Hex, the Shackle won't do anything at all in the fight. And they accomplished it perfectly. Now, they are suddenly nearing the high ground of 4FC, but knowing that the death timers are rather low, at least for the Viper there, they're definitely not going to overextend. Just going to farm up, expand their vision as well, get some aggressive vision for themselves. And flip side, that fight, it was just massive, and suddenly Unicorn, he's up to another 4k gold. This Queen of Pain, I don't know how, but she is farming ridiculously fast.
Man, she's finding farm everywhere, and so maybe with this farm, she could grab that Sheep Stick or grab an additional damage item so that Unicorn, once he does, chase after the likes of Steph Style or Eris Loco in order to just zone them out from the fight. She'll be doing a little bit more than just zoning. She'll actually be landing those death blows, and, well, man, that's one less hero that you have to worry about. And then Unicorn, the faster he does that, the faster he can return to the fight. Really, that last fight, it was depending on those Shackle Shots landing from Baby Knight. First of all, that was huge. Second of all, it was just kiting around the Bristleback, and the Bristleback was struggling to actually connect to his targets. He has Sanjin Yasha, which is very nice, lots of movement speed as well, but without something like a Basher, you can't effectively get on top of someone and really quickly kill them down. Like, even going towards Rise, or speaking of, in the mid lane, Ace is going to have to pop the BKB, got coiled up, Pablo going to take a lot of damage, Luna Blade as well. Ace going to try to TP out. With the BKB, he will get out of there alive. Sonic Wave through onto everyone. Unicorn is going to look to turn things around, will kill out the Shadow Shaman very quickly, but Unicorn now has to make his blink out, and it looks like 4FC, they will retreat.
And what a fight. What an initiation from 4FC. There was a awkward relocate as well. Not quite on the money there, didn't get quite close enough. And Ace, of course, with the BKB, knowing that there is nothing to lock you down. No Basher there for Bristleback because he did just finish up an AC. And when he did get that AC, I was like, maybe that's going to give them a slight advantage in the fight. Or maybe not an advantage, or at least like kind of even things out in the fight. But a minute, 30 seconds, something like that after that Axe got his own AC as well to completely negate that of the Bristlebacks. So 4FC, they got the reasonably timed Hex and Puck, really haven't been able to capitalize on that one. They do also now have an Aghanim, which may be a big deal if you can force them to break the coils and if you can land the Dream Coin before the BKBs are activated.
That's a lot to ask, though, from your Puck. Scythe of Vice, Eul Scepter, even if this Puck doesn't land a great coil, still has a lot of crowd control to offer to the team. And, well, again, Aghanim Scepter at the very least is going to give the Puck a little bit additional HP, but for right now, it's going to be Flipside to be on the aggressive Unicorn, plus Baby Knight doing some serious damage to that tower. They'll bring it down without breaking much of a sweat. They have a couple of Axe Illusions actually wandering around, so they have pretty good vision around the map, but again, a tier 2 tower, 44 minutes in the game. I don't really think 4FC care that much about losing it. It's going to make Roshan reinforcing a little bit more difficult, but yeah, I don't really think that's high on their list of priorities to defend. So now all tier 2 outer towers are down, and we're back to this farming game. Unfortunately for Unicorn, though, he has 6,000 gold. He's almost just completely done with his item builds. Yeah, you have a 5-second BKB. Maybe you consider getting rid of that, but up against Shadow Shaman Puck, maybe not. A Queen of Pain that's 6-slotted is not exactly the scariest hero in the game, or at least there are scarier heroes in the game, so Flipside, they're kind of putting themselves at a timer. They're fighting kind of evenly with having more net worth, and that's never what you want to be doing.
So for FC, what are the items that they could even go for that kind of help them get back into this? I mean, there's an item super coming out on Shadow Shaman, definitely a great upgrade damage-wise, but if Flipside, they can first of all kite away from the Mass Serpent Wards, or if you really focus on the Mass Serpent Wards with most of your team, they're not going to survive for all that long, because yes, with the Aghanim Scepter they get extra damage, but survivability, nothing of the sort. Viper isn't really building into anything, does have 2.8k though. Bristleback just purchased the AC. Are there even any items that can easily like turn things around for you?
Well, for 4FC, they already have a sheep stick, so I mean that would be one of the items. Aghanim Scepter on the Shadow Shaman is going to make it so that they could play a little bit more aggressively towards the structures of Flipside, but I think really the biggest item and the most feasible item that they get that'll add a serious impact is a Basher on Krilly. Because up till this point, the Bristleback, yeah, he's been doing quite a bit of damage, but really his purpose, the thing that he has been wanting to do is just make sure that Flipside aren't getting the positioning that they want, be disruptive, and if you get kills, great. If not, doesn't really matter. You're forcing heroes out of position. With the Basher, you actually can get kills in the likes of Queen of Pain or the Wind Ranger or hell, anyone, as long as you're not maybe focusing an axe with a call. That's probably not what you want to do, but that is a very feasible item for him to get because it's not that expensive, and it'll probably add the most to his killing potential. MKB would also be good, but it's just a little bit too expensive for Krilly, I think. He's not farming as fast as Unicorn is.
Yeah, nobody really is getting even close to that. 26.7k net worth now. I mean, even his own team cannot really keep up with that kind of farm. Wind Ranger, it's not like she's the slowest farmer. Power Shot is pretty nice in clearing off creep waves, especially with a Mjolnir there as well. But of course, maybe not as mobile, or at least you can't escape as easily as a Queen of Pain can with the massive distance blink. But we do have a pause still going. Unicorn, he was also, or rather already having internet issues before we even got this game started. So now it's kind of a continuation of that one. Theoretically though, I do believe they should still have Mania. I'm not too sure why he's not playing today. Rice, I think, is kind of their manager or coach otherwise, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm told, but I have never actually seen Mania play for Flipside. So, yeah, I don't know. Like,
well, maybe that Mania
team.
return didn't last for that long then, I don't know. Maybe
And
he's just like on vacation from real life work, I don't know.
Slacker, get here and play Dota with your teammates. You got to make sure that you get into Division 1. It's important, guys. It really is.
I mean, they
But
did
yeah,
after all.
it's unlikely that that they're gonna need to break out anyone else, I think.
I would hope not, at least Unicorn. I'm not too sure what he did last time around when we were waiting to get this game started, but it seemed to work for about, I'd say, 54 minutes, given the draft lasted for about 10, I would believe. So it was fine for long enough. If he can replicate the process of what he did while waiting in the lobby, we should be golden, but not entirely sure if it was him doing something to fix it, or rather, let's just wait and see, oh, it fixed itself, let's go now.
Hey, maybe they could just play a faster game. Like, again, going back to the very beginning of this game in the draft, we said that Flipside were going to be playing pretty aggressively, and they have been. And it worked pretty well for them up until the fact that Krilly as well as Strangby just would not die, and that was a pretty large brick wall for Flipside to get around. They were definitely playing or drafting a strategy that's pretty aggressive, and maybe their intention was to not let this game get to 50 minutes. I guess, like, with their heroes that they have, they should be pretty fortunate to consider the fact that they are farming way better than 4FC right now on, like, Queen of Pain and Axe. You wouldn't expect these heroes to really be outstripping the enemies as far as farm is concerned.
So we're going to be paused still probably for a little while. Nobody's given us any updates or anything. But Spirit Breaker now can also get his own BKB, finally get any kind of item after that Shadow Blade. And or looking back at the Shadow Blade, it's gotten some like sneaky stuns in, but I don't think there have been proper follow-ups to the Shadow Blade initiations. So do you think this Shadow Blade so far, has it been a worthy purchase or not?
If you just look at it in what it's accomplished, then definitely not. It's still not too late for the Shadow Blade to actually do something. Taking a quick vision check for 4FC, they don't have any true set right now, so Blen will be able to get in and out of these fights with that Shadow Blade. And of course, you always have the possibility of, charge in with the Shadow Blade. You decide whether or not you want to take the fight. Then you either just break the Shadow Blade or you just instantly Nether Strike your target. That's a okay way of initiating, I suppose. But so far, it hasn't happened. And this Shadow Blade has been here for, what, 25 something minutes? If it hasn't happened by now, it's unlikely to happen until the end of the game. But if it does, man, that's a pretty sick way of initiating. Suddenly, invisible charge of darkness. Maybe you land it on a couple heroes on your way in. Who knows? The upside of this item is very, very high, but what it's actually doing is not as high.
I suppose it is kind of a risk-reward kind of item to go for. Like I said, definitely can work out, but so far just hasn't. And you know that things are bad when teams start playing tic-tac-toe on the minimap.
Well, it is 4FC playing. It's not Flipside. They're just like Flipside are a little bit more concerned, I think, that they need this Queen of Pain because if Queen of Pain does not return, I think it's just game over. Unless I'm just massively underestimating the micro power of one of the Flipside heroes. Queen of Pain is not an easy hero to micro with another hero who are also not easy heroes to micro.
So you take the Spirit Breaker, you press charge, then control the Queen of Pain. Charge ends, you activate Nether Strike, and start controlling the Queen of Pain again.
I guess, like, even if you lose a Spirit Breaker, it's not that bad. So, like, yeah, he doesn't even have a BKB. He's probably going to die anyway. He's died 7 times.
So you charge in, you shift, attack, move like the entire map almost. And then you start just controlling the Queen of Pain.
Yeah, just attack move into the enemy throne, and whatever lands. Maybe you get a lucky bash.
That would be pretty crazy. It's like most people are like, "What's the Spirit Breaker doing? I'm attacking, guys. I'm
He's
attacking. Don't
attacking
worry."
creeps. These creeps are interrupting our team fight. We got to clean them out, guys. Oh, and the funny thing is that creeps are actually helping Flipside team fight because they have an axe on their team. So you don't want to be doing that. You want to be actively generating more creeps. It's not possible,
So
but
plan needs to just be fast and kind of program a way or an attack button that only registers heroes. That's
yeah.
doable, right? That's doable.
Sure, if you want to get back banned, I'm pretty sure that's not what they want to do right now. Unless I mean, maybe not back banned. It seems like something that would get you banned by Volvo.
Yeah, probably. I'm not sure if you can even do something like that without Valve themselves implementing it, but who knows? If you can, it's definitely something that Valve will frown upon, to say the least.
Yeah, and you don't really want to test what will get you banned or not, because if it gets you banned, then
4 months later,
it gets you
man.
banned.
4 months later. It's like, I'm totally fine. 1 week before TI. You're banned, sorry.
Have there been any players that have been like doing that? Like for Dota, I know that CS had a whole bunch of cheaters, like actual cheaters. I don't think
not
there's
that
been
I
a
know
case.
of. I'm not too sure if people are even bothering with creating cheats for this game.
What would you possibly cheat with? Like that's not even a useful thing.
I don't
Like-
even know how you can cheat, because you would have to, like, if you want a map hack, for example, you have to just hack into the particular server that you have loaded into. So it's like it's going to be a different server every time. It's for some games it's otherwise. The client server process works differently, or rather you just have to hack the client side, not the server side, which makes things easier or something like that. So I think for Dota it's probably too hard to be profitable for cheat makers. I'm not
I
too
think
sure.
you're just underestimating the elite hacksaws of these teams. They're gonna get the elitist hackers of the internets, like this 4chan.
Most elite hackers, yes.
Dude, you gotta get the elitist hackers, and then get map hacks, and then win everything, all the way up until the international. And then you lose horribly because people are looking a little bit more closely. It's a great plan. Nothing can possibly go wrong with that plan. Literally nothing.
So the thing is that probably even if you map hack, you will most likely still have to be like pretty damn good at the game as well, with the draft, with the actual individual and team plays. Yes, you're at a massive disadvantage if the enemy knows exactly where your wards and your heroes are, and depending on the composition it may just allow them to snowball, but if let's say random 5 Dota players from, like, I don't know, 5k MMR, maybe, okay, let's put it like 4k MMR, if they all got map hack, would they be able to win against tier 1 teams?
Probably not. Like map hacks will help you in the early stages and like when you're jockeying for position in the mid game, but as far as team fight execution is concerned and mechanical skill, like I wonder how much MMR you would have to have a team with map hack. How much would a team with map hack need to have as far as MMR is concerned to beat someone like Secret? That would be an interesting thing to see. Like, can Secret beat a 6K MMR team with map hack? Or 5.5? Lower? Higher?
I
This
think
is
if
something that needs to be
it's
tested.
probably if it's 6K and at least one of their guys is like so-called captain material draft-wise and in-game leading, it can probably work out, but I don't know. Is it something that can even be tested, or probably it wouldn't be easy to test it because you would have to have like multiple teams consisting of different players. I don't know. It would probably be easier to start testing with tier 2 teams with map hack, and then just if that works out, then start testing random pop players. I don't know. Good
This
topic.
is something that we have to do. We have to organize this. The
Next
map hack
tournament coming
challenge.
out. HeflaTV organized Team Secret versus map hacks.
What do you mean we're back banned? What do you mean, Valve? We were doing this for science. It was for research purposes. I guess if you know that if you know that the enemies are map hacking, you probably just draft super late game, right? You just don't bother ganking. You just sit in your lane and farm a Medusa or something and farm a Shadow Fiend.
It's probably either that or just go like massive 5-man death ball. So that it doesn't matter that they know or see where you are because you're going to be S5 visible all the time anyway.
Sure.
Although
It's,
that's not likely to work in these days.
well, I mean,
TF4 though, easy win man up against max map hacks.
dude, bring on all the map hackers. We'll take them on with our death ball strategy. We'll grab Pugna first pick, get a Venomancer going, maybe a Chinchantress mixed in there, get a Juggernaut because that's a standard pick, right? So then you have all the healing. Just go for it. Map hacks won't help you.
Oh, okay. So there are some scripts getting some info on Skype now in Dota, or cheats or whatnot. That, for example, if you have a Yule Scepter and somebody blinks close to you,
Yeah.
it auto Yules them.
Yeah, I mean, that's nice
But
sometimes.
it can backfire as well, of course, if it
Yeah.
automatically does that, of course. But even then, it's like, who the hell makes them up? I don't know.
People who are really scared about being initiated upon.
Okay,
Like that's really all it's for. You don't use it aggressively. And really if you're not using a script to actually get you kills, I don't understand the point of using it at all. Like if you're gonna cheat, you have to cheat to get ahead, not cheat to prevent yourself from falling behind. That's my ideology on cheating.
so, for example, people using aimbots in first-person shooters. Well, this Yules thing, would it be the equivalent of your
Aimbotting
cheat
Yules.
disabling others' cheats?
Wait, what now?
What if in a first-person shooter, for example, you had a cheat or a code that would disable other people from cheating? Would that be a defensive use, or does that give you an advantage? I guess it gives you an advantage because those guys who are usually reliant on cheats suddenly don't know how to aim anymore.
Dude, what kind of question is that? Come on.
No, that's what poses
Like, okay,
to.
we know that the enemies are cheating. It's time to enact our anti-cheating cheats. We'll get the elite hacksaws to get in there and disable all their codes. That's something that you would see in like
That's
a really
it's a
bad
superhero
TV show
movie,
from like
man.
the 90s.
Superhero movie where you
Yeah.
can cancel others'
Like,
powers.
oh my god, they're hacking us. Quick, get on this keyboard and help me counter hack them. Like, I'm pretty sure that would happen in some really bad movie.
And in real life. I would really like to know how like cyber attacks are countered or something. If people actually start sitting at the
Just
computer, or
have-
if they're just gonna lay back in their chairs, like, okay, we got programs that are gonna deal with the attack anyway. We're just gonna sit back and watch. Or how does it work in real life?
I have no idea. We could ask Blackadder. He does network security. I'm told.
Yeah, but he's never around, so
That's true. We have to find him by hacksawing his internets and then figure out how he does it.
easy.
Yeah, it's the easiest way to get in
Although
contact with someone.
if we can hack his internet to know his whereabouts, then probably he's not the right person to talk to about internet security.
Dude, I can't hack for shit. I can't do anything with a computer as far as that is concerned.
Yeah, I got
I would
no
get
idea.
backbanned from
I
the
have no idea
internet.
how to even start. Probably you have to
You
get the
go to
IP of the target.
HackerTyper, what is it? HackerTyper.com, I think.
What? I have no idea, man. Never
Oh
heard.
no, it's HackerTyper.net. And then you just type things.
Oh,
It's amazing. Everyone should go to HackerTyper.net and then just start mashing your keyboard. It's pretty much the best thing to exist.
okay then. If you say so. I'm totally gonna check it out later. But
It just like is a black screen and then it just generates like code looking like text.
code looking like okay. So the Matrix.
It doesn't actually do anything, obviously.
You know what? One thing is that one fun thing. Some hackers, or I wouldn't say even hackers, just knowledgeable people. For example, lots of if on any website you have like a input slot, whatnot, when you have to like enter text, let's say a password, username, whatever, or just even a search engine. Some people just deliberately go around like random web pages and try to enter MySQL or whatever database commands.
Hmm.
To the end of it, they do like semicolon, drop table, semicolon, whatever. And the search engine, because it takes the semicolon, it like sends it as a command and then what comes after it. So sometimes you actually can screw over databases like that.
So this is the elite hacksing that we're talking about.
Yep. You just
This is
go
how we
in,
find
type
Blackadder.
certain stuff, and you win. You win
So
the
we,
internet
we
war.
go on to Skype, message him with semicolons, and then we find his location, and we triangulate it back to his position.
I leave the triangulating to you.
I don't know how to triangulate. Do people actually triangulate, or is that just a thing that they say in movies? I have no idea.
Me neither. It sounds like it should be true enough, but
Oh, apparently what we were talking about in some bad movie it happened in NCIS episode. That's pretty much bad movie. Shout out to
movie,
Video Viking
show,
for that.
potato. It's close enough to
I
a
mean,
movie.
that show just has like the most hilarious technology kind of things.
I like how it's like zoom in some more.
Enhance.
Oh yeah, it was like a 240p quality picture, 100 feet away from a car plate, and by the technology of zooming, it's suddenly crystal clear what the plate number was.
I think my favorite thing was when they like zoomed in and enhanced on someone's eyeball and then got a reflection of someone else from like a camera.
Oh, I think I saw something like that somewhere.
That is like one of my favorites. Another one of my favorites was I think it was NCIS where they start getting hacked and then like they realize they're getting hacked because their like screens start flickering or whatever. And then two people jump on the same keyboard and start typing to like counter hack them. And then by the end of it, they fix it because some guy just walks to the back and unplugs their monitor.
Oh, I know in
That's a classic.
NCIS one time they just went in and unplugged the PC. I think that was the same. Yeah, it was that.
Yeah.
The girl and the guy were like double
Like
anti-hacking, and
on
then
the same keyboard.
yeah, and then their like captain or whatever came in, unplugged the stuff. I think I
That's hilarious,
saw
dude.
like that particular part of the episode like a week ago from TV or something.
You actually saw it on TV. I thought they would be too embarrassed to show that again once they realize what they've done.
Oh wow! I mean
Yeah.
it's Estonia, man. Anything can happen.
Okay, so
So they
we're
want
gonna.
to play 17 seconds for it to get a 45-minute load in.
That's fair, I think.
Yeah, probably. I don't think anything or much should happen within the 17 seconds anyway.
Think of how different it could be if like everyone on 4FC were like right where the bottom rune spawns and they were just like right around the corner from Unicorn. Sneakiest of requests. It's like, oh, just another 17 seconds. Bam! Queen of Pain's dead. Okay, guys, let's load. Easy game.
I think Flipside, their like best course of action at like anyway, even if they had reconnected or never mind, it's just like run away from that spot if a request is made. But I think they should have let it go a couple of minutes past. Yeah, just in case. But we're gonna have a load in with another or a different player because they are suspecting DDoS, which I have no idea if it's happening or not. Have not had it happen to me. Thank God now. Jinx, knock on wood, whatever superstition things you believe. But
Salt, is that a thing? Salt over the shoulder?
yeah, I think so. Although,
I think that's a
well,
thing.
I think it's safe to say I do not carry salt around at my PC table.
Yeah, I have to get up to get salt. Some players don't have to get up. Okay, we're leaving this. This is dumb, guys. Why you do this to us?
Well, he was having issues before as well, so I don't know. It's probably just his service provider, quite possibly.
Oh, people are saying that it's CSI, not NCIS.
No,
Oh, is that
I'm
the
certain
link of the
that
hacksing?
I'm certain that the double keyboard thing that I saw was NCIS.
Oh yes. No, it's in the chat. It's in the chat. Video Viking posted it in the chat.
Oh, man.
It's beautiful.
I'm watching it without sound, and first of all,
You don't need
the,
sound.
The amount of windows popping up and everything, it's just ridiculous because I don't know if like actual hacking does that, just randomly starts opening and closing windows, but it doesn't make sense.
Wait, oh, guys, what's up? We're being hacked? Oh, we'll just unplug this.
I love how you can just find that scene so easily, like NCIS hacking.
I love how two people just instantly jump on a keyboard. Like, if I had to like get on a keyboard with someone else, I don't even know like
First, you have
how
to set the
we
ground
divide
rules.
the buttons. Where's the line? Is there like a line where like T, G, and B are where we just don't cross that? And
You
how
don't
do we
cross
type
swords,
with both
man.
hands with that few keys?
I have no idea. You definitely have to set ground rules first. Maybe they've done it before. Maybe they practice at
Okay.
home.
Guys,
What
in
if-
case we
what
get
if we get hacked?
here's the protocol.
Well, it's like normally you have like the building catches fire. This is how you exit. You get hacked. This is how you do it. Just double man tag team the keyboard.
I'll take the left side of the keyboard. You take the right side. Maybe they have like a keyboard with like the number pad on the right side. Like I have one right now, and they have like extra macro keys on the left, so they have extra things to push.
That sounds about right. Although I don't know. First of all, the keyboards are so small, the normal ones. So
While using some like stupid Apple keyboard that's extremely tiny. They showed it. Hold on. I'm looking again. Yeah, it's like one of those really, really tiny keyboards that's like sleek and hipster or something. I hate those things. Give me a giant keyboard with extra buttons to press.
oh, I have that. The SteelSeries Apex. It's a really big ass keyboard and it has lots of extra buttons.
How big
About,
ass are we talking about?
22 of them. 22 macro buttons.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it's 10 at the left side of the keyboard and 12 over every F button.
Dude, it has so many lights.
It
Why
has,
do you need that many buttons for things?
well, to be honest, it's perfect for OBS scene switching.
Ah, that's true.
That's like literally why I wanted macro buttons on a keyboard. So OBS scene switch.
Yeah, I only have like 12 on the left side. Apparently Logitech is more casual than SteelSeries. Who would
Well,
have
to be
thought?
honest, the top ones I've used like once or twice or something. Theoretically,
I have
I
nothing
put them
assigned
to
to any of these macros.
stop and start recording, but I do that manually anyway.
You can't trust your keyboard to do it. Because if it messes up, then you're just screwed.
Then I'm just gonna look
You have
stupid.
to check it anyway by hand, so you might as well do it by hand.
That is true. That is true indeed. But we are loading back into this. Hopefully the load is gonna be fine because I have no idea how the loading in process even works for the like lobby admin. He probably has like options like load this timer.
Yeah, it's actually pretty smooth. So, Dodin, was that? Did they say? Oh, that's Miggle. Okay, so they're playing with like an older lineup now. These guys have been playing together forever, and if Ace doesn't load in, then I swear to God, I'm gonna flip a table. Or maybe not, but a figurative table.
User has disconnected from your channel. So it's probably gonna soon be at a point where, of course, for FC, the thing is, I think it was a topic on Reddit as well. I'm not sure if Omicron made it or somebody made it. That JD admins aren't like they're saying,
Spineless.
okay, the post timing is this, and if the other team does want to wait, they can keep on waiting, or otherwise they're going to just keep on going. But from some point onwards, the admin has to say it's like we have to play now because I mean, how long does it make sense to wait for? Because I can say that well, I went live probably 20, let's say 25 minutes before this.
Hmm.
So the game, the initial start of it should have happened about 1 hour and 40 minutes ago. And this is
Cool.
game 1.
Yeah, in a best of 3. Well, thank you guys for all tuning in and watching us not do anything. That's great.
We do have a statsman now though, Man of Chalk, finished his own game, got into ours because we had the remake.
That was all. It was all according to the plan. Got to DDoS the game so that we can get our stats, man.
That was our plan, yes.
Yeah. It only took 45 minutes to enact because you're doing the elites hacking.
Yeah, we didn't get enough semicolons in the first time
Mhm.
around, so we had to go second time, more semicolons.
Dude, that's what I've learned today. Semicolons is how you hack stuff.
Okay, so we are gonna wait for this load in to fail, but Unicorn has reconnected. Or, well, not reconnected, but he's got his internet back or something, but now we have lost Ace.
Okay, so who's next? This is like a really bad horror movie.
One by one. But in a horror movie, should, like, the first guy even return? I guess it is a really bad horror movie then.
Oh, he connected. Holy crap, wait. Oh,
I heard something blow up.
yeah, something sounded like it was blowing up.
Sorry, the Ancient just got destroyed. 4FC, you lose.
Oh well, you know, sometimes it's just how it works. They should play it out, right? They were ready for this?
Yeah, I'm not too sure since Unicorn in theory is back. They may ask for another remake, but we are really awkwardly paused now.
God.
Okay.
Unicorn, please.
Is it back for good? That's a good question. It's like, oh, he's on TeamSpeak, so his internet must be fine. Then he gets back into the game. He's like, oh crap, I'm lagging as all hell, and let's just get our standard back.
You know what? This game has been lasting for way too long. I had a huge cup of tea, so I'm gonna have to leave you alone for 1 second.
Okay then, no problem. As you can see, Pablo also wants the admins to just jump in, or well, the admin, multiple, or not multiple, but single one. Oh. I can show you the stats though. Net worth, still a massive advantage to Flipside if we look at just purely, well, it's not Unicorn anymore. Okay, so we're gonna try one more time. One more remake. I think at least the admin is fine with that one. Remake, of course, does not take that long. Hopefully, if we do have one, Mike is not gonna miss it. That's my bigger concern here, but... Okay, so we're gonna try once more. If Unicorn's internet is not working, then we're gonna have to have another remake, won't we? Well, that's gonna blow, but... Going over the items fast as well... Never mind, we're gonna remake, so you're gonna see the items later on, guys, later. Hopefully, it's gonna be fast enough, but... Getting into the new lobby... It's all up to Mike now to just... Hurry
here?
on. Oh, you're back?
Yeah.
That's fast.
I'm not gonna waste time. I don't want to miss this exciting
Lobby.
lobby creation.
This lobby is so exciting. Triple the excitement.
We've lost some Flipside players.
Quadruple
I don't
the
know.
action.
We're good.
So Unicorn is back. Did he have a unicorn as a profile picture? I think so, but now we have the heroes
he?
instead.
I don't know. Who we see? I don't know who he is on the right side.
Can't you really? I have the
Oh, wait.
heroes.
He
at
typed.
least.
He typed. We could check. No, it's private. It's all private.
Oh, yeah, the right one. Okay. Yeah, I understand. I understand now. I got confused
Fan
there.
goats.
So teams
Oh, man.
should be within the correct positions. I really like that it like sets like this hero for this slot and so on. It's like almost impossible to just accidentally take the wrong hero with a remake like this.
But also, like, for teams, I don't know if this is like a thing that officially happens, but everyone usually plays in the same color. Like, that's just kind of what happens sometimes.
I do know that some people do get rather angry when their slot is taken, the color slot.
Dude, you just don't take someone else's color. You could badmouth them, you could DDoS them, but just don't take their color.
Okay, so DDoSing is better than taking their color.
Dude, don't take another man's color. That's a bad idea. Okay, are we back in for real now?
Yeah, it wasn't even a 45-minute load. It was actually like 5 to 10 seconds before the first pause happened.
Okay, cool. No one actually knows how that reload thing works, and no one's gonna waste time experimenting with it. But we're back in, and well, we're pushing for a hell of a long game, both in real game time and in official time of the real world.
So, do we have any buyback? Should we have a massive fight? Because it's definitely getting this late that the death timer's getting up there. For Unicorn, for example, gonna be 100 seconds, maxed out on levels being 25. I think it should be the highest, yeah, by far. The others are 21 at best. So, 100-second death timer, if you should not have buyback, it can be rather crippling. The Unicorn, of course, well, he has plenty of gold to buy back.
Yeah, I think 6,500 should be enough to buy back for a Queen of Pain, maybe even twice in a row, if it were to work like that, which it doesn't anymore, but he's gonna probably look to replace these power treads with some travels soon enough, just so he could free up this TP scroll slot. And then he's just gonna go on ahead and 6-slot himself fully, but he's definitely gonna hold that gold. Baby Knight should also be starting to save that gold as well. Is just a little bit short, just 60 gold of it, so he'll have that one pretty soon. Have that buyback, and he's already picked up the travels for himself, so it is going to get to that stage of the game where people are going to be shipping out their old boots and grabbing some new winged boots. And I mean, right now, 4FC, they actually haven't started that yet, but they're a little bit further away from being 6-slotted because naturally they're holding on to less net worth.
So, flip side, they've had a 15,000 net worth advantage for the entirety of the game, as you can see from the graph. Oh, good stuff.
It started out and it was so unfair.
So it's a huge handicap. It's a surprise that 4FC are even still in the game.
Dude, overcoming a 15k disadvantage from minute 0, it's hard, man. Life is hard, but 4FC are doing it. Speaking of doing it, we got a Daedalus at Queen of Pain.
Do that.
Yeah, you can't do it. It's impossible. Unless the enemy team is, like, literally brain dead. But Unicorn has a Daedalus. He hasn't grabbed the travels just yet, but I don't think you replace any of these items that he has right now. Orchid, maybe for sheep. And then travels, but then Unicorn is pretty much topped out. For him, it's going to come down to positioning and the initiation from his teammates.
You can definitely... Oh yeah, that double bounty rune. They got double bounty runes, 15,000 advantage. But Wind Ranger is Daedalus also the next item she is going to look for, just to get extra damages. No! No! Let it not be so.
Please. Unicorn, fix your shit. Unless it's Ace. Ace was also having problems.
No, it must be a third one now.
Okay, at least now this time we have a nice shot of Queen of Pain, who's getting an arrow shot through or over her shoulder.
I'm gonna just zoom in. Maybe it's through... Oh yeah, literally through the shoulder. Not cool, Wind Ranger. She should own. She should own.
What the hell? I thought we were on the same team. Okay, wait. 4FC, Ace is not here. That's a problem. Ace should probably be here.
That's a good way to put it, yes.
He's not even disconnected. So 4v5, 4FC, they smell their advantage. They're going in for the top lane. They're pushing top. Dude, it's a 5v5. That's what the game says. They're just going to go for it.
And
they're also pushing bottom, actually. They relocate in. Eris Loco, he's almost going to die, but he gets relocated back out just in the nick of time. This is just buying space for top lane to push, though. Ranged Rax is down. I don't even think if the Axe was here it would make a huge difference because they haven't even initiated a fight yet. Bland gonna get right into Step Style, however, pops BKB. Can do quite a bit of damage to this Shadow Shaman, but he hasn't used another strike just yet. Actually, no, he has previously. He will kill off the Viper the rest of the team. Now chasing forward Step Style. Ern will get that one. It seems like Ace's bait plan worked because they got 2 kills in exchange for only range racks and a tier 3.
They did almost lose a secondary range racks as well, only 84 health remaining, so backdooring it definitely not going to be an issue if they want to do it. But the thing is that Axe, not even being, or not even having disconnected. You can't even control him. Before, I think the situation would have been better with Queen of Pain being disconnected and somebody controlling him, compared to just an axe sitting defenseless in the jungle.
Okay, but now we see how nice is Krilly. He's gonna walk right by. Okay, no, he's not. But you don't kill him, right? You just let him be. You farm the centaurs right behind him, and then you just walk around. Or is he an observer that you have to kill? Oh wait, no, he's back. Uh-oh, and Krilly's in a bad position right now if Axe is back.
Easy
No,
though, he's
not
still
back.
standing. He is acting as an illusion. It's a bait now. Because for FC they will think he's back, so there's no way he's gonna randomly be standing around there and suddenly he jumps you.
Is this a real Axe? It's hard to tell because illusions do spin for full damage.
To be honest, it would be massive if somebody actually used this strategy like that just to secure a win.
I'm gonna give up some Raxes in exchange for a hopeful ambush on heroes that I can't
the
even
best case
solo
scenario
kill.
is of course that you know the enemy has vision around a rune. A illusion rune spawns, you go pick it up, and then you do such a thing that you pause, like, oh crap. But Roshan in the meantime, gonna easily go down even without the Mass Serpent Wars, which are level 3 now. Unicorn runs in, wants to do some damage, but can they get the stun screen? Just pops the BKB and tanks the front lines. Pablo though, well, he can't tank anything at all. Ares local gonna be going down. The cheese is used, but kind of a waste here. Triple Dream Coil though keeps them in place. Mass Serpent Wars gonna get some cleaving going. Plan BKB or no, physical damage comes out on Baby Knight. He got stunned from the Dream Coil. Easy free kills. IO does buyback, but well worth the fight in general.
Man, the Nether Strike from the Spirit Breaker there, almost being an all-star for Flipside. They Nether Strike the Bristleback, and it does go through that BKB. Then they just ignore the Bristleback and try to bum rush the softer heroes. It was a good idea, and it's kind of the thing that they have to do, but for FC with a nice coil and also getting extra value because it snapped on the Wind Ranger, I don't know if she snapped that by herself or if she got force staffed or something like that. But either way, that's 3 very nice kills for 4FC, not to mention the fact that they already have the Aegis. You said the cheese was eaten somewhere in that fight, but these heroes, they do have buyback with the exception of Spirit Breaker. They're going to have to buy back because they don't have an axe still. He's just still sitting there.
Well, he did get disconnected now, so the game automatically pauses. It probably wasn't even the team clicking it because that's how it works at the moment, which is brilliant, I have to say, by Valve. Somebody disconnecting it auto pauses because sometimes servers mess up and everybody disconnects. But we do have an Abyssal Blade now and the Bristleback as well. They took one great fight, and we have to remind people because it's been quite a long while. But Flipside, they were looking at a pretty comfortable lead before the pause happened.
15k in fact. Krilly gonna get jumped. Call is there from the AFK Ace, but Relocate is going to bring Ares Loco down to the bottom lane actually, where he's instantly going to take a fall. Baby Knight there with the Focus Fire doing quite a bit of damage as well. Will kill off Pablo as well. Steph's out of the last one to remain. Aegis is there from Krilly. He's going to respawn, pop the BKB, going to go straight for Rise. No, gets called away by the AFK Ace. Krilly though getting worked down by Unicorn mostly with that Daedalus, is going to also lose his life. And the total damage has been done. 1.5 sets of Raxes. But now 4FC, they're on the defensive, and they're going to have to probably spend some buybacks, else they lose some structures of their own. This game isn't over yet, guys. It's far from over.
Yeah, it was just so unfortunate that Axe did get disconnected, or well, didn't even get disconnected, but was unable to play, yet not showing it as a disconnect. So now they at least got to control him. Those Berserker's calls really made the difference in this fight as well. Lina definitely would have died a hell of a lot earlier had the Berserker's call not come out, because it kind of wasted the entirety of the Abyssal Blade, for example. Bristle though does buy back, as does the Puck. Abyssal Blade is still on cooldown, and with the Focus Fire, it should be at least a tier 3. Whoa, Plan, he goes in deep.
Gonna go for Strang B. Unicorn gets Hex though. Ace blinking in a little bit late, can't get the call off, or at least he already used it, can't get it off at all. Unicorn is gonna get shackled up and brought down. He's down for 110 with no buyback. Bland getting chased out of the base, will die. Rise also not looking too great, gonna throw an LSA, that won't do jack. It's Wind Ranger the only one to survive because she bailed out early. And this time for 4FC, they defend fairly easily as well, as Bland really wanted in that fight. But the only person with buyback is the Axe, and I'm pretty sure you can't buy back with him because he's disconnected, so they have no heroes to defend except for Baby Knight.
Well, Baby Knight, if he pulls off this defense, I'm gonna be a believer, but I just don't think it's gonna happen. 1v5, Wind Ranger, just not the hero to do it. Maybe if she was absolutely 6-slotted, like Daedalus, Monkey King Bar, something like that.
Rapier.
Rapier, yeah, on top of that. Although he may be going for a Rapier, but just doesn't have enough gold and looks like it's a Daedalus instead. Has the Crystal as well.
Yeah, this is definitely the time to build a rapier if you're a baby knight, because there are going to be megas flooding your base very soon. This is such a bad ending to this game, man. It was so close, but this is just not the way you want to have a game end ever.
For sure it is not, and well, flip side, hopefully they can either get Ace back properly for game number 2 or get Miguel back into this as a stand-in. I don't know. Probably Miguel is like, what the fuck? First you needed me, then you said like, get the hell out because Unicorn came back and now you need me again? Make up your mind, guys.
Well, Baby Knight's Valiant defense is going to do literally no damage. He's forced to pop the BKB, gets stunned by the coil, and he will be going down unless Strangby just misses all of his attacks. What the hell? How many did he miss there? That was ridiculous.
A wind run.
Was it? It didn't look... I mean, she was stunned.
Yeah, but she got it off before getting stunned. It's a 6-second duration. It's massive.
That's true. This sucks, yeah. That was not a good ending.
Well
but it was a
played.
good game up till the pause.
It was really, I mean, it could have gone down to like massive base racing in all fairness, but we never got to that point. And flip sides, they must feel robbed because 4FC, they were definitely on the back foot, heavily so, but in the end 4FC take a win because of the pauses, multiple ones. We had 2 remakes even coming into this, and then suddenly Ace just goes haywire on us, missing in action. But hopefully for game number 2 we will not have any similar issues. Sincerely hope so, at least. But guys, I'm excited that this is a best of 3 after all, so we're gonna have at the minimum 1 more game, unless they will postpone it to another time, we'll see. But hopefully you enjoyed the cast, even though we had lots of pause time to cover. And if you did, check us out at HeflaTV on Facebook and Twitter, HeflaTV for both, for the casters, at Couchor for me, at Mikelorus for my co-caster, and well, see you for game number 2 in just a couple of minutes, hopefully.